Hey, it's Matt here with a life-changing, maybe life-saving tip for you, who knows. So, as you probably have experienced, Lightroom can be incredibly slow sometimes. And if you don't use Lightroom, you've probably got some other editing tool that goes really slow sometimes. And today I was editing some photos. Sometimes there was 2 or 3 minutes between one photo processing and the next photo. So I was doing my workout in between editing photos. And I thought, man, I should share this with everybody. So what I want to do is I'll share the workout super quick, but it's part of a larger principle that you can apply any way you want. So a few months ago, actually a few years ago now, I heard about this concept called micro white space. And the context I learned it in was the military, and anytime they had white space, literally like on their whiteboard schedule, that was empty, they would have some project that they were working on that they would slot in there. So maybe it's a 15-minute gap, maybe it's 90 minutes, something like that. But any unscheduled time, they would call it white space, micro white space, because we're not talking about entire days. It's just little periods of time. And they would work on their project and they would accomplish this incredible thing just in the micro white space. So I started to apply that principle, and now I use micro white space. So when I have a 2-minute gap or even a 30-second gap while I'm waiting for pictures to process, what I do is I have something else kind of mindless that I'm working on, something where I'm kind of on autopilot. So I do my workout routine. And here's one of the biggest reason I work out is for mental health, or whatever you want to call it. So I have heard, that for your mental capacity, day to day, and especially as you're growing older, one of the best things you can do is not necessarily studying or learning new things, although that's actually one thing, but exercise, walking, running, strength training, anything like that will really help. Another thing is eating properly, but I won't get into that. So here is my workout routine. I do a 10x workout routine, and basically what it is I have 6 core exercises, and I can add on other ones that I do sometimes, but I have 6 core exercises, and they are 2 lower body exercises and 4 upper body exercises, and they're split in half. So total, there's 3 push exercises and 3 pull exercises. And I'll list the exercises that I do in the notes on this. I won't get into it now. But the key is to choose a version of that exercise. So let's just say push-ups. You want to be able to do 12 push-ups, and when you get to that 12th push-up, you get halfway through and you can't do any more, and you're done. So you want to fail on number 12. Now, if you do push-ups, you know that when you first started doing push-ups, maybe you could only do 3. Maybe you couldn't do any, but eventually you get to the point where 12 is easy, right? 12 is too easy. 15 is too easy. 100 gets too easy for some people. So you need to do something to make it harder. So I use, I don't have them with me right now, but I use the big elastic workout bands, and that creates resistance when I'm doing a push-up, so it gets harder. So I use a really heavy band so that by the time I get to push-up number 12, I'm failing. And the point is that when you fail, it tells your muscles, he tried to do something that he can't do, so we need to build strength. So I like to eat a lot of vegetables in particular. I eat meat as well, but vegetables in particular that are high in protein. Basically, veggies, dairy, meat, anything that you can find that's high in protein will help you to build strength even better. So that's the basic principle. Now, what if you can't even do a push-up? Well, you could do a push-up against the wall, and when you get to the point that you can do 12 of those, or 13, 14, then you do maybe push-ups off of your bed, so you're not all the way down on the floor. Then eventually you can do push-ups on the floor, maybe from your knees, and then you can do a regular push-up, and then you bring in the bands to make your push-ups harder and harder and harder. Then you use multiple bands, and basically every time you get to the point where you can do 13 or 14 of that exercise, you need to increase the resistance so that now you can only do 9, 10, 11 until you get back up to 12 again. But remember, you must be failing on that last rep, that when you get to number, 11, 12, 13, you have to be failing. You have to get halfway through and you can't do it anymore and you fail. That's what triggers the strength gain. So listen, that's what I do while I'm waiting for my photos to process. Also, I record videos like this. I figure it's going to be a short video, and I may as well get it done. I use Lightroom, I use Topaz Sharpen, sometimes I use Photoshop Elements, sometimes I use regular Photoshop, and while I'm waiting for my photos to open or to render and stuff like that, I have these little projects. So I've been able to gain an incredible amount of strength, which helps with my mental capacities, which of course helps with my creativity. It helps with my mood, with everything. And I'm just looking for those, not just micro white space on my calendar, but the micro white space. Those tiny little moments while you're waiting for something can be absolutely usable. Listen, if you have ideas about what you can do with your micro white space or your micro white space, throw them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you do. All right, over and out.